Okay, guys and gals, about 10 seconds of the obligatory disclaimer. If you want to read the whole thing, just pause the video. Let's talk about the stock market, S&P 500. We're looking at the futures. Today's trading was January 26th. You can see this little red candlestick right there has already started for the 27th. This is the future, so they start the night before. I'm looking at ES. Yesterday I put out a video saying that decline was likely. Decline. Yeah, it didn't decline. But I didn't necessarily mean the very next day. I still think we're going to get the February-March low. This is a members-only video, so check your emails. I have a screenshot in there about what possible scenarios I think is going to happen. But just briefly in this video, getting right into it, looking at the daily chart here. So look at the certainty rate, guys. Big spike today. It is at 29.1. See that right there? 29.1. Look at this thing jump up. Universe going down. Certainty rate jumping up. Okay. MACD looks really strong. Everything looks strong. And the Big Daddy's starting to get a little bit into the, above this 350 line. This number really isn't that high. Since we've been in the bear market, anything right around 370 starts to get my attention. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on the Big Daddy forecast. Right now, this number isn't really enough for me to say, okay, watch out. We don't have any divergence signals going on over here yet. So, I still think there's room to go is basically what I'm saying. Okay. So I think, something like this, maybe up to 40. This 4110 is kind of significant. That's definitely a sign that that this cycle is getting pretty strong. Okay, so down maybe like this, all the way maybe down to maybe even down to 3580. How deep this is going to go, it's not super important right now. But I think 3580 is definitely possible once we start this reversal. Okay, now. 4180 I put on here. This is from the week. I bought this over from the weekly chart, but really you can see it's this upper wick. If the price gets up here and does one of these deals, gets to 4180, near it or above it, now that's a big deal. That's a real big deal. Maybe it's going to do something like this, and come down to, I don't know, 3704, whatever. This little cycle right here would be March 8th. In the middle here is like the second or third week of February. So we're just kind of looking at that. Maybe it doesn't come down into this 5-8, February 5 through 8. Okay? But if it gets above 4180, guys, that's a big deal. Why is that a big deal? Because that will mean this cycle, this purple cycle we're looking at right here, which includes this smaller green cycle, okay, it would mean that this cycle is overtaking the previous cycle, which is this one, which also includes that green one right there, has overtaken its high right there. Okay? And that would be bullish. Already this cycle right here is very strong. Look at this cycle just going on like a monster. It's officially the 27th, which we'd expect price to stall right there. And price may stall right here. We'll see if it stalls and pulls back, or does it just stall sideways and keep going. Right now, especially if this keeps going right in the middle of this cycle, this little small cycle, and tomorrow takes off and goes up, that's going to be super strong. Okay, just look at this monster cycle. Okay. All right, so, but when this thing does turn, whenever that's going to happen, be very careful. That's in the email as well. You could get a day like this, and it can happen very quick. You can get a big monster red day, and it can happen very fast. So you really got to stay on your toes. Okay? I'd be very careful. Yes, I think the market could go up more. It looks like, just based on the data I'm looking at, there's more room to go up. But, as late as we are in this cycle, being way over here, we're right here. We're way over here. Okay, look what happened in this cycle. It was way over here, guys. Looking at this purple cycle right here. Right? It was way to the right. even more to the right than where this is at right now. And bam, we got that red candlestick, and it was bombs away for about 4 or 5 days, and it was hard. Okay, so you got to be a little bit careful. I know a lot of people, a lot of members, new members, welcome. I know a lot of my old members been around, want to trade options. That's great. Go do your thing. Just be careful. This late in the cycle, I would not be surprised if we're going to see a pullback at some point, between there and there. We're going to start seeing this thing roll over. Okay, whatever it decides to do, early, late, later, okay, it will happen. I just don't know exactly when, all right? All right, let's take a look at the weekly cycle, weekly chart one more time, just for those that haven't seen it. Okay, there's that 4180 right there, yeah? That's this candlestick right here. That's within this big old weekly cycle, which runs from like October over here to February, right? We haven't quite hit February yet. But this is pretty strong. Up, hits, comes down just a little ways and goes back up, and now is above the 50-week moving average, right? It's above it. Right, we can see that was 40.35, and we're all the way up to 40.64, so that's a pretty big deal. It's gotten above the 50-week moving average. That really hasn't happened in quite a while, except for that one little candlestick back here. This one did it. But that was on a wick. This is not. Big difference. Alrighty. So just showing you here that this cycle, my goodness, bam. That 4180 is a pretty big deal. If on the daily chart we get above that, like I said, that's pretty bullish. Now this 43.27, if by some chance this thing just starts taking off and blows through this cycle low and just says, hey, I don't see a cycle low, that does happen. It happens in bear and bullish, very bullish conditions. If it just blows through and keeps going up and comes all the way up to this 43.27, forget about it. That changes everything huge. That would be a huge occurrence. That would be massive. Okay. But guys, the market never just goes one way forever. So regardless of how strong this daily cycle that we're in right now, it's not just going to go straight up. You all know the market, right? It will pull back at some point. All right, so that's kind of my take and my hypothesis, okay, what I think is going to happen with the market. All right, keep a close eye on it. I do think there's more potential for more upside, but don't be caught out, because when this thing turns, I think it's going to turn really hard, okay? That's it for now. Talk to y'all real soon again next time.